Hey, welcome to OBeeSports Talk Show. I'm your host, Obi. We're going to do a little scope report on the New York Mets today. This evening, whatever you want to say. So this is a shout out to Adam Baker and his New York Mets on their upcoming season. The Mets obviously will probably have the offense, but it could be a struggle early on as they will be without Jose Reyes and Carlos Beltran. Jose Reyes will begin practicing, but they're not sure if he'll be ready for opening day. So Alex Cora will be their shortstop. So their offense will probably be there in the long run, especially when those guys get back. Their pitching, especially their starting pitching, is weak after Santana. You know what Santana is going to bring. He is going to have probably another phenomenal year and probably even a Cy Young type year. But after that, there's a lot of question marks on who's going to be the starting rotation. John Maine, John Neese, Fernando Naive, and others are still competing for those other spots. So that Mike Pelfrey is in the mix too. But they're really unsure about what their starting rotation is going to be after Santana. Offensively, like I said, they're going to have David Wright and Jason Bay and Fran Coor, and they're probably going to have a little bit of a pop more from Rod Barajas and Blanco, and those guys are good defensive catchers as well. They're not really sure which one's going to start. Pagan is going to be taking over center field until Carlos Beltran gets back, and I'm sure a lot of Mets fans aren't really sure what to expect from Pagan. He's obviously not a superstar type player. First base, they actually have Daniel Murphy and Mike Jacobs, but those guys got to produce because the thing is they got guys waiting in the wings at first base. Chris Carter character who cannot play outfield as well, but is mostly a first baseman. They got a young first baseman down there as well, but they don't want to rush those guys too much yet, so they will not get a chance to play quite yet. So they're going to kind of wait it out with Murphy and Mike Jacobs, so hopefully they can produce for them. And Fernando Tatis will be in that mix as well at first base and in the outfield. Santos will start in the minor leagues for them. Their bullpen also is a big question mark. They really don't know who they're going to give the ball to before they get to K-Rod in the ninth inning, and that's one of the things that I'm sure that they're trying to figure out as well still as we approach. So with all these major concerns, and you look at their division, where the Phillies and the Braves are the two front runners to win the divisions because they can do a little more rounded, I guess we'll say, than the New York Mets and the Florida Marlins and Nationals in that division. The Mets, in my opinion, they will finish third just by listening to people talk about the Mets and kind of what I've read and listening to All Bets Are Off today with Bruce Drennan. The Mets just don't have quite enough this year to seriously contend for the division. Granted, if injuries occur to the Braves or Phillies, the Mets might be able to make a late push, try to give them a little run for the money, and they could also maybe determine which one of those teams wins the division and which one wins the wild card, if the wild card comes from the NL East. But I think it's going to be a rough year for the Mets this year. On one plus side for the Mets, I think they'll have I think they will show signs of growth, maturity this year. I think their team chemistry will be a little bit better, and I think they're going to give teams fits. I think once it comes down to determine who gets in the playoffs, who wins the divisions, the Mets could play a huge role in deciding that because of the core young players that could be up here, or a lot of the veterans that they have, leadership they have around. I think they can seriously determine which teams get into the playoffs, and that would be a plus. That would be a step in the right direction for the Mets because that shows you that they're competing well against some of the top dog teams this year, and maybe we'll see signs of improvement in the following years. Because you got to figure the Braves are getting younger, they're getting older, and they have a lot of young talent as well, but they're getting older. Philadelphia Phillies got a lot of players getting up there. So the Mets are probably considered one of the young teams in with the Florida Marlins. So maybe not this year, but next year maybe the Mets can contend for to win the division. This year I think it's going to be a little bit of a struggle for them. Sorry Mets fans, sorry to you Adam Baker. I just don't think you guys have enough to get to the playoffs this year. I think you're going to stay competitive at number 3. I think it's going to be a constant battle between the Phillies and the Braves. The Reds Stove Report will be next. I was going to try to do that one along with this one, but I didn't do my research on the Reds. So Cincinnati Reds will be up next for my MLB Stove Report, followed by the Detroit Tigers. That's for Kyle. Cincinnati Reds is for Thomas Berkey, Rob Hartman. Those ones will be for them. So we'll be looking for those. And we're going to throw this out there as well for you Cavs fans out there that listen to these shows as well. So Zydrunas Ilgauskas is back, which we all knew was going to happen once he left. You just had a slight feeling he was going to come back. His heart and soul were with this team. He's been with this organization through everything. We support him each and every way we possibly could. Through all his foot injuries, we never gave up on him. We kept him around, and so Zydrunas Ilgauskas is back. Welcome back, Z. And that's all we have time for today on this special Stove Report of the New York Mets. As always, thank you for listening. Have a great night. Bye-bye.